Good morning, Lombok. It's been a bit of time because some good and some bad has happened. First off, I got a little bit sick, and that is part of the bad. I got what I believe to be mold toxicity or mold poisoning that my body had to work through from this room that you'll remember up here. So I actually now live in one of the bungalows back there, which I'll show you shortly. But you'll also know if you look at this turquoise colored bike over here, that bike is mine, and it is also not the bike that I originally rented. Unfortunately, on one of my days to the beach to just read and chill and hang out, it was attempted to be stolen, which is kind of insane. So I will roll the clip. I wasn't vlogging that day, but I vlogged the aftermath, or at least what happened. So I'm gonna snap to that now. Not sure which vlog this will make this in, but I was just here at the beach to do a little reading, parked my bike, totally empty beach, had it to myself, little dirt trail, both directions. I parked it over there, and when I came off the beach, it wasn't there. So I thought I got stolen, and it's like 50 feet down this path, and they fucking smashed it, and they blasted the ignition, obviously trying to jump it or take it. Thank God I didn't leave anything in the bike, but this is fucked. Hopefully I don't have to pay for this. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not like at an illegal beach. Luckily there was a Indo couple back that way that he helped me call the guy that I'm renting the bike from, and at least told him where I'm at. So unfortunate part of the adventure. Obviously glad I'm safe. Kind of fucked that this happened. Clearly a distinct line between Bali and Lombok in the sense of safety. I've like never experienced any kind of crime in Bali at all. I've left like my key in the bike before in Bali, and people will literally take the key out and put it in the cup holder for you. And here I guess there's fucking hill domuses, fucking ruffians that want to make it off with a shit scooter. The sad part was I was going to trade this bike out literally like today or tomorrow anyway, because the brakes are not great and it stalls on ignition a lot, just because it's an older bike. But anyway, I guess I'm waiting to get rescued, and yeah, part of the adventure. Why not document it? Well, made it back safe. Shout out to the boy Gunter. He just rode me on the back of his scooter. We pedaled my bike using his bike to the mechanic, and they're basically just going to replace the control unit and the plastic that got broken, and I guess I'm just responsible for the cost of that. He says because the bike didn't get fully stolen, it's not worth going to the police. But yeah, I figured I probably wasn't going to go file a report, just knowing that I've had some friends try to file reports with the Indo police back in Bali, and it was no good, and I can't imagine it's better here. But yeah, just grateful to God that I'm safe and everything is all good. It's just another cost incurred in the hero's journey. But yeah, stay frosty out there, and I guess tread carefully when parking your bike at a beach. I don't know, I feel like I didn't do anything specifically wrong, but it is what it is. But anyway, that is that. Thankfully, I just had to pay. It ended up being like 2.3 million, and I'm renting the bike for 2 months for 2.5. So really unfortunate that it costs so much, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much money, and I'm still safe. So as you can see, I'm kind of walking through this tropical little tunnel here to my bungalow. So it's different in that it's a freestanding unit, and it's kind of like this thatched situation. I'm glad that I'm not glad that I got the mold sickness, but I am glad that it happened, because it ended up me in here. It'll be tough to see because these windows here and on the back side are all tinted, but I sleep like a child because it's very like cavey in here. So I left the back door open so you can kind of see, but we got the bed, fridge, AC, and just all my stuff. So very simple living. But back here, you have a private outdoor shower, bathroom situation, mirror up there. But this area, nobody can see in, which means I get midday sun completely naked, which is awesome. So I'll lie down here on like a towel and do my reading and get my fellas sunned, which is excellent. Overall upgrade. And also just showering outside is so elite. Like during the day the sun's on and the water's like the perfect temperature, and then at night the moon will be like right there. So this whole area is lit up by the moon. Today on the agenda, I'm gonna kind of do day in the life. I don't know exactly what today's gonna shape into, but this morning before my work session, I don't know why I did air quotes there. I actually do have work to do. But before I get into like the work for the day, I have a call with the Florida founder Vitality House with Nate and Michael. We're doing weekly calls now just to check in, update. We're still looking for a place in the Miami area to rent, so just gonna do some logistics with them and also check in on them. And then after that call, I will be doing a little bit of client work and a little bit of writing for myself. So I'll meet you guys wherever I end up working. I'm trying to decide if I want to work at the cafe connected to the gym, which I can show you guys, or go down the street. I'm just packing up the backpack now. Gotta hit my coffee, keep drinking water, and then I'll head out to get working, but I'll see you guys in a little bit. Well, Michael canceled on the call, so I'll just be doing work this morning, but I think I'm gonna go to the cafe that's connected to the gym that I've been here, just to show you guys how close it really is to my spot. I'll do a little time lapse as I walk there, but just gonna lock up and then head over. Okay, wrapped up the work session at the gym. Hopefully the lighting in here is okay-ish. And yeah, I was just doing a little bit of branding work for one of my community members and clients, Logan, who's been riding with me for a long, long time. He wants, as you guys know, the Vitruvian Manifesto is kind of the mission statement of the Vitruvian and everything I'm working on here. And he's an artist at heart like myself, so he's trying to build kind of a brand vision for his homestead farm, regenerative agriculture kind of business. And I'm helping him with some brand vision stuff, some social media stuff, just basically consulting and a little bit of creation. So I was doing a little work on that. And also I released yesterday this podcast here. Focus. Find Your Mission and Wage Holy War. It was actually a re-upload of a podcast that I appeared on before, but I enjoyed the conversation so much. Listening back, I was like, I have to put this out for you guys. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. It'll be somewhere on here. Really covered a lot of different stuff, but it's always good every once in a while to sit back in the guest chair and just have somebody prompt me with questions, because I feel like I get to share a different side of myself, or it's more almost like a Q&A format, like is what it turns into. So really, really good podcast on anything from discovering your mission and purpose and self-mastery stuff, all the way to like some esoteric concepts like manifestation, the demiurge, the simulation, things like that. So it was an interesting conversation, and I think one that you'll definitely enjoy. I came back though to get ready for a training session. I'll be heading back to Loca to hit a push day and a little bit of shoulders, and then we'll see what the day has in store. But this is why I like waking up early. I haven't set an alarm in a long, long time, but my body's been waking me up around sunrise, which here is like 6-ish, which is awesome, because then I could just bang out multiple hours of work before the day is even started. And before noon, I'll have done work, calls if needed, training, etc. So gonna get prepped for that and then head to the gym in a bit, which I'll see you guys then. All right, so back from the gym, surprisingly popping for a Sunday. So I didn't film any clips. I'm not full fitness influencer yet. I know I need to get better about tripod and everything, but the confidence is building with filming, and it'll be helpful this upcoming year when I'm with Michael and Nate encouraging me to have a camera, also somebody to hold the camera for me. But all that aside, probably gonna string this together in a couple of days because tomorrow I'll be doing a fun side quest. But before I tell you about that, I wanted to circle back on the raw milk thing. So as you know, last vlog, unsuccessful quest, but there are the animals here. And very fortunate for myself, I, through a mutual online, got connected with Jai, Instagram profile somewhere on screen, who is an entrepreneur here running a residency kind of mastermind event through his community. And I DM'd him just to connect organically, ended up playing some sports with those guys. Super fun evening. We went out to dinner and I ended up, of course, talking about conspiracy theories and raw milk and all this stuff. And I asked him, because he has a little bit more of a local network because he's been here before, if he knows of anywhere I could get it. And he plugged me with a WhatsApp connection to a farm here. And I'll maybe take a screen recording somewhere on screen, but like the selection of options is insane. Now, unfortunately, it's like 2.5x the price from Bali, just I imagine because of it's harder to get stuff here. The supply chains don't exist as well, and honestly the island is just a lot poorer, but still cheap in the grand scheme of things. So tonight we have our first delivery of, I got some tenderloin, some coconut blossom, raw honey, raw goat's milk. I splurged for the goat's milk because it just feels way better on my body. So 5 liters of that. I think maybe some other steak. I wanted to go in on some bone marrow as well, but they only had it in kilogram quantities and I simply don't have the storage space for that right now in my little freezer. So delivery tonight with the supplies, and then I'll go off for sauna and recovery and stuff. And then tomorrow with Jai and his gang, we will be side questing to, I think it's called Oolong something, but it looks like a good hike. It's like an hour and a half from me by scooter, and then there should be a good hike and some cliff jumping spots. So stay tuned for all of that, but I'll show you the haul of all the raw goodies later when it arrives. We got the mother load. Yes, let's go. This appears to be frozen, I think. It's very cold at least, but that's okay. Let's go. And we got eggs. And I'm guessing this is the oxtail and the honey. So this sirloins are in here too. Nice. Very sketchy drop off. I know it's dark in here, but huge success. Off to the sauna, and tomorrow we adventure. Good morning. We're at a new cafe, but look at what has happened here. We had our first viral tweet. This was from the newsletter, if you guys would have seen it, but we're already up to 200k views, almost 400 retweets, 3,000 likes, 3,000 bookmarks, and 110 comments and counting. Let's fucking go. Just replying to all these right now and letting the people know. Finally, it's good to finally get some recognition, but you just have to keep chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping away, and eventually people will find your shit. So excited to finally have a little bit of a crack through the firmament, and we'll keep working. But solid spot out here today, and yeah, check back in a bit. A little bit of a time jump. Not sure exactly when I'm gonna get to do the sign mission with Jai. I got to do dinner with them a day ago. Didn't bring my camera, didn't film it, but I shot that little shot at the beach. Crazy beautiful. But I gotta shoot off now to do a podcast with Michael Holt, founder of Savage and Saint. We've been trying to do a remote podcast for a while. Finally got some time to align. He's on the west coast of the US. Obviously I'm here in Lombok, but got connected through Case Bradford. Check out my podcast with Case from this previous spring when I was out in LA. But I gotta hop on the scooter really quick, and I'll see you guys after the recording. Just wrapped up a podcast with Michael Holt. Really good session. I know I'm kind of jumping around in this video, but got to set up in a co-working space over here, and at the last second we had a guy kind of jump in here. So it was like perfect timing. Got to knock it out in the morning. Really great conversation. By the time that this is out, I assume the podcast with Michael will be out, so you can check the description or go listen to that. Really great conversation on a lot of different topics about men's self-development, purpose, mission, and just somebody who's super aligned with the work that I'm doing. It's really cool to see somebody who's further down the line you know, with the same mission and a lot of the same conclusions I have, and so much overlap in branding between the Vitruvian universe and the Savage and Saint universe that he's created. So just grateful to get connected, and I see him as being like a really good friend and mentor moving forward. So grateful to God to have connected with him, and yeah, we'll get back to more things later, but just wanted to check in and film this clip. Back from the podcast this morning and have figured out how to create yet another standing desk with this table that was over there. You just can't beat this right here. Fresh air, and we're cooking in the lab a little bit. This is something that I do for people by request. I'm really passionate about storytelling and brand building, and I just want more good guys to win, and it's something that he reached out for some help with, so I'm helping him on that. And yeah, if you're looking to do any sort of brand project and looking for kind of a creative visionary with some implementation, you can message me and I can see if I can help in any way. But cooking in the lab a little bit here. Still feel a ton of like pressure in my sinuses from the mold situation. It's been kind of a dicey setup. It's common here in Southeast Asia because of the air conditioning. So I moved rooms like I told you, and then this bungalow here had mold in the air conditioning again, I think. So I was starting to feel it, and I just wasn't getting over what I had before. So I had them clean it, but after they cleaned it, it started leaking water. So they fixed it finally today, and I'm doing my best to just only be in there to sleep, and then sauna at least twice a day, activated charcoal, and sweating as much as possible. So part of the adventure, it's just the nature of things as you travel and don't have total control over your environment. And that's probably one of the only things that holds back places like this is like the air quality. Lombok is super arid and dusty, as you guys have probably seen and heard me talk about, compared to Bali. So not quite the like beautiful cliff sides, and when you have less vegetation, there's less air filtration. Like that's one of the things that nature does for us. So it is what it is, and my body's handling it really, really well, and it helps to have a really strong diet with raw foods to help your body detox. So it's all good, and I'm gonna hop back into the edit here and check in a bit. Just wrapped up a good session at the gym, and now headed back to my place. Sorry if you can't hear me. Just did a push session, and later today I'll be going surfing with Dustin, who's a friend that I made through, Jai. And we still haven't done that side quest mission. Don't know if it's gonna happen in this vlog. Don't know if it's gonna happen with that squad before they take off. I know they're busy dudes, but I will show you guys when I go. I'm super tired and a little dehydrated because after the session I did a sauna as well. So we're gonna walk down the street to the local coconut lady and fruit man, and I'll take you with me to load up on some carbs and replenish before later today. Also, I didn't film my work session this morning because I had to really lock in and knock out the newsletter for this week because I hadn't written it yet till today, and it goes out tonight. So I had to bang that out, but it all kind of came flowing through, which is great. Also, it was a really productive work session because I edited and rendered now the podcast with Michael Holt. So that one will be out by the end of this vlog. Obviously, I showed you guys day of recording, and I'm finally coming out of this mold pressure face problem. Like I feel a lot better, which is great to say because it was definitely affecting my thinking. Like it's definitely not all gone. Like I can still feel it kind of in my sinuses. My body's detoxing it well. Again, the raw food and raw milk helps. But yeah, back to the side quest for coconuts and fruit before a little bit more work, and then a surf later today. Hello.
Hello.
Hey bro. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Can I do some mangosteen and pineapple and
Papaya.
small papaya? What do you think? This one good?
Good.
Good. All right.
In how much? 1 kilo, half kilo.
Half kilo. Getting the fruit loaded up here. Fruit is a success. We got 1 kilo of mangosteen, which if you haven't been to Southeast Asia, you probably don't even know what that is. Just look it up. I'll show you later. A papaya and some sliced pineapple. Now, on to the coconuts. Hello. Can I get 2 coconuts?
This one? 15?
That's okay. Close.
15 get one.
What?
It's 12 for 1. I was here yesterday and it was 12.
Yes, okay. Hindi na tumbuka.
All right. Makasih ya. Coconut secured. Sorry for the shots here. We're a one-man team and I gotta carry all this shit too. So when I get back to the place, I'll show you busting into these bad boys. I'm sweating, boys. But this is Nature's Bounty right here. Fresh sliced pineapple, big old coconuts. One will be now, one will be post-surf. Mangosteen. I'll show you the fruit in the inside is really sweet. It's kind of like a lychee flavor. And then papaya for another time. Gonna crack into all this and replenish. Kind of cannibalized it myself here, but we're in, boys. Delicious, fresh electrolytes, structured water, carbs. There is no better hydration source on earth, in my opinion, than a fresh coconut. Obviously climate appropriate. You need to be, I've lost my straw. You need to be in a tropical climate for it to be, appropriate. You shouldn't be in the middle of winter drinking coconut water from Walmart that came in from Costa Rica. But if you're in a place that's tropical, drink your electrolytes and thrive. Gonna bust into some of these mangosteens as well, but I need to find my straw. I don't know where my straw went. Crushed the coconut, ate the meat out the inside, and what you see there is the shell of a mangosteen. So all this fleshy stuff in the middle is super sweet, and yeah, that's the part you eat. So for those too lazy to look up what a mangosteen looks like, this is it. And I will probably eat the entire kilo in one sitting because I have no self-control. All right, time to head off to the surf. It's going to be a 3 p.m. sesh, so get some prime sunlight up there. And yeah, we'll be making it happen. Here we go. We made it to surf. Board secured. You hate to see that. Got Dustin over here. Yo, say hi. But check this view out. We're in the basin of this valley here, and the ocean is that way. Gonna have to hop out here in a second. Just wrapped up the surf. Decent session. Dustin is far better than I am. But we had to take the boat out, so I left the phone in, but I want to show you guys the beach. See if I can come up through here. Yes. We're up through here. Crazy. Hard to tell, but the set's way out there. They're well overhead and definitely more than I could handle. So it's a good day to just be back in the water, but much to improve upon. I think we're gonna head back now, dinner potentially. We'll see what's in the cards, but good to be back in the water and grateful to God to be in such a beautiful place. Good morning. We ended up wrapping up the evening getting some ramen, which was actually really delicious. And now it is a day later and just up to some work. I got the whole place to myself, which is nice. I recorded the podcast over there and we are finally live with the Michael Holt pod. So go check that one out. It's a really good one and I think it turned out really well. Just banging out some work this morning. Finished up the project with Logan in my community on building out his brand manifesto for his regenerative agriculture farm. Turned out really, really well. I'll ask him if I can put this in the vlog, but I was able to help him kind of draft out the statement and then had him record the audio, edited the video together, but really fun project. I'll put it up on the screen now.
Can you feel that? The wind whispers that change is coming. The trees suggest the same. Our soil stirs with the human spirit, fertile and proud. While everyone lives off the land, we live for it. We have our hands in the dirt and our heads towards heaven. Patient stewards of divine abundance. The sun is our heartbeat. The rain is our blood. The land, our legacy. Regeneration is not a method. It is our mission. We sow revival and reap vitality. The fire represents the eternal flame within. The farm cultivates a prosperous tomorrow. We are the fire. We are the farm.
And otherwise, gonna crank out some work this morning before kettlebell class later today and maybe beach. We'll see what it turns into, but I will check in with you guys in a bit. All right, back from the morning work session and from the kettlebells class. Really challenging one today. I've been using the 24 kg bell, which is pretty fucking heavy, and I'm not very skilled, so we did some Turkish get-ups and shoulder presses today. So a lot of like strength, not just pure like flowy technique. Really, really good session. I just love like playing a little bit and using my body in a unique way, not trying to be a kettlebell warrior in any way. But the power's out here at the bungalow, so, and the power's out on the street. It even went out at the gym. No music either. So we've got the air door open for pass through here, and you can't tell off camera, but couldn't just see that in the mirror. Not wearing any clothes because we got private sunshine for sunning the fellas and reading. Because when the power's out and the Wi-Fi's down, we return to tradition. Reading the Bible, sunning the boys, enjoying nature while we wait for the grid in Lombok to come back. I'm gonna get into this and return to you a more vital man. Cheers. Good morning, Lombok. Today has been honestly a really beautiful morning. I had a catch-up call with my dad, and it still floors me that we have the ability with technology to call somebody literally on the other side of Earth and FaceTime and be able to be like you're in a room with someone. So extremely grateful for that. Really amazing conversation, and ended up crying because he passed on some encouraging words, which, you know, they come at the right time. But anyway, I wanted to share, I think in the last vlog I promised that sometime in this vlog I was going to do like a tech stack as like a digital entrepreneur, and just the thought came to my mind as I'm doing some morning writing. I could also take you through my creative process for writing specifically, but it works for ideation of any sort of creative project, whether you're drafting a YouTube video or writing a newsletter, in which case I'm writing the newsletter for this week. So the browser that I use is called Arc Browser. And this one's pretty cool because it has these sort of workspaces which you can label. I broke it down into create, I have one for learn, and then down here a unique one which I call abundance. And this is something where if I ever have something that I want to buy, whether I can afford it now or I want to buy it in the future and I can't afford it, I put it in here so that it's basically on a shopping list, if you will, so that I'm essentially calling in and affirming abundance, like I can have what I want from the universe, and there's nothing wrong with wanting material things, and the world is abundant and I can have them. So it's just like a running list of stuff that I want, whether it's like crazy expensive future homestead dream compound stuff or like smaller things that I want to order on Amazon. So anyway, outside of that tab, the learn tab is great. I have a little AI model that I trained up with Perplexity, call it Aristotle.ai. I basically just ask this questions about philosophy and different ideas. Sometimes I have it behave as different philosophers and ask, like, you know, what would Plato say about this, or what would Nietzsche say about this? And these are just articles I've saved for reading later. There's Aristotle again, I can close that. Stanford School of Philosophy website is something I recommend. It's just an amazing kind of free resource for a ton of philosophy stuff. And then poetry stuff I need to read in the future, want to read in the future and save. Different health stuff. It's kind of a newer tab recently, going down the rabbit hole since talking to Solbra and just learning about raw primal diet, and I don't know, it's a whole health world. And obviously I'm launching a wellness health brand this year, so I want to make sure I'm up to date on what my philosophy is, not only in my practice but as well as like what information is out there to affirm that. And then this project is a little private, but some projects for my family in the future. And then back to create. So this is my laboratory here. We have stuff for the podcast, stuff for my business, and then content gen. I have Canva. You can pretty much make legitimately with a free software. It's insane. You can make anything for Instagram, any graphic, and it's super user friendly. So you don't need to be like very technical in something like, say, Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator or anything like that. You can literally just use Canva to make whatever you need. Hemingway, I recommend this. So this is the flow for my writing. I write all my ideas in Google Keep. You can think of this as Apple Notes. I like it because it's actually on my phone as well. So right now I'm writing the article here. This is where I will just jot out like raw ideas throughout the day. Even if it's just a single sentence, I'll just bang it in there so I don't forget it. And the first draft always starts in the Notes app. And then from that draft, I'll get it to the place where it has like one consistent idea. And then once it's there, I will take it and I will finish drafting in Hemingway app. And this is cool because you'll have the article from last week, and I'll kind of be able to show you. So this is the free version. They have added features if you pay for it, but what's cool is it gives you word count, and it gives you difficulty of sentences and reading level. I always try to keep it ideally as low as possible, which sounds counterintuitive as somebody who communicates, and I love flowery language, I love reading and whatever, but I think the mark of a clear communicator is being concise. There's a quote from Shakespeare, which is brevity is the soul of wit. So if you think you're so smart, which obviously I am of the opinion that I'm a smart guy, if that's true, I should be able to write ideas and communicate them simply. So whatever things come out as, you should be getting as little red sentences, which are the hard to reads, and as little of the orange as possible, and you should be simplifying so you don't see anything here. It'll also call out weakening words, typically like helping verbs and stuff, and it'll always suggest simpler versions of words. Now, this is the final version. You can see I left in here a few of the orange and the red, and that's intentional. That's something that comes with finding your voice as a writer and knowing when and where you're gonna modulate sentence length and sentence cadence and flow, and when sometimes you just need to have a run-on sentence. There are actually no rules in writing because you're the author, and that's something that I had to kind of unlearn from school programming. It's like, I can write whatever the fuck I want, and the more you read, you see how wildly different people are. Like F. Scott Fitzgerald is different than Hemingway, that is different than Shakespeare, that's different than Plato, is different than Lao Tzu. And like the more you see in the wide world and you put all of that data into your brain, allow your unconscious to bring forth what you create into your writing style. And at the beginning, you can copy other people's writing styles, but eventually the more you write, and this is true for me, it's just, I'm starting to see my voice come out consistently as I write more. So this is where I will get it to essentially final draft minus any videos, pictures, or graphics, and then I'll take it over to Substack and finish up there. AI Enhancer, I use this for thumbnails. This is another free website. I literally just Googled it. Let's see what it's called, Snap Edit. But yeah, without paying, you can upload an image and it'll 2x the quality. So when I do Zoom podcasts, sometimes the image quality is suppressed, but for instance, the most recent podcast with Michael Holt, I created in Canva the thumbnail, which you'll be able to see right here. Focus, bring it so it's a little bit bigger. But it's actually pretty crispy, and it's way better looking here than it was actually in the Zoom recording. So I took a screenshot, put it in the AI, and it 2x the quality, and then I could download that and use it for later. Now, I'm getting kind of technical here, so sorry if this is boring anyone who's not a creator, but these are useful tools and they're almost all free. And the point of showing you any of this stuff is that the barrier to entry is zero. You just have to try. And these are some of the few things that I've picked up over time that are helpful to me. This is another killer one that is great for downloading YouTube videos to clip up into the vlog, whether it's my own content or somebody else's. And you can do the same for music if you want to take down an MP4 file or MP3 file. So that's kind of the workflow, the creative thing. I really recommend Arc Browser for anyone who's a creative. It's just way better than Chrome, having all your tabs across the top. I know Chrome's added features that keep you in these folders, but the downfall is that when you close the entire browser, you lose all of that. So you have to like keep it running on your computer. But Arc, if you bring anything above this line here, like if I drag this tab up here, it gets saved so that when I actually close out, like, you know, the big red X, it saves everything in all of my workspaces, all of the tabs that are there. They're not open, but the website is there for me to like click on as if it's like a bookmark or something. Just an amazing way to stay organized. It's not too neurotic, like it's not super complicated where I almost am like irritated at the level of depth. So this has been a good medium, and so it's just like really cool, and it's like designed for creators by creators. Now, is my data still getting sent to the powers that be? Am I being tracked and monitored by the CIA? Yeah, probably. I'm not using a VPN. This isn't gonna be the most secure browser. I think the most secure browser out there is probably Brave. If you're super schizo about that stuff, use that. I'm obviously schizo in the sense that I believe that it's happening, but I don't think that it's as much of a priority given that I make all of my content on an iPhone. If I'm having conversations in a room, my phone can hear me. There's just certain levels of privacy that I'm willing to compromise on for workflow convenience. And I think you can kind of creatively Aikido the matrix when possible. But anyway, Arc browser, highly recommend. Hemingway for anyone who's writing content, whether it's Twitter, Substack, or just for your journal. It'll make you a better writer if you write inside of Hemingway. And then obviously I'm a big believer in the written notebook as well. And maybe another time I'll go into what I do for my notebooks, because at the end of the year when I'm back home, I'll be starting my 2025 notebook, which I can show you guys. So that's what I wanted to check in on this morning. I'm going to finish drafting a little bit more on the newsletter while I still have some juice. And then later today, I'm thinking might do a little sprint and beach session instead of going to the gym. So I'll take you guys along with me for that. Got to get back into this, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Also, for anyone who wants to bang out deep work sessions and align themselves with God, YouTube video as your music, Gregorian chant, 432 hertz. If you know, you know, this will put you in the most divine creative flow possible. Back from the work session, and it's hot as balls. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go sprint, and I'll take you guys with me to the little one grass field that exists here, and then further along to the beach after that to do some reading and cool off after what will inevitably be a toasty session. We've blessed with another beautiful warm day. So onto the bike, wearing the oversized sun protection, got the old Bucky hat, and we'll mask up as well. There's so much dust and motorbike nonsense. You got to cover up a little bit just so you're not breathing in carcinogens. I'll see you guys at the field. All right, we made it safe. So this is the Tampa Hills Athletic Center. They got a tennis clay court, paddle, and then right here is our field of sprintage. Perfectly right in the sun. So gotta deload the bike and get ready for some warm up. I brought the tripod, so I might actually show you some workout footage this time. And there's nobody here for me to feel embarrassed. So here we go. Grass action. I'm thinking keep it simple, get the body loose, some dynamic warm-ups, and then just, field's not that long, so I might even have to go diagonal. It's probably only 30 yards long in total, so a couple of sprints, probably like 5 or 6. It's really all you need if you're actually pushing yourself. And then on to the beach, which is the much more pleasurable part of today. So take the tarp off, start getting warm, get this thing over with. All right, what you see me doing right there with the dogs is just a little bit of bounding, single leg bounding, and then single leg jumps and hops. You do the same thing with the jump rope, but basically just trying to warm up the small muscles and ligaments and all the little stabilize you guys in your foot, ankle, knee, and also wake up your CNS, because sprinting is like a full body team effort, and starts from the contact point, the ground, all the way up. Not that I'm any sort of pro, was never the fastest athlete, but returning to patterns that we were designed to do, which is walk and run. So it's almost time to do the deed. I'm probably going to do a couple warm-up laps around the little field and then work up from 50%, 75, and then a couple reps at 100%. So wish me luck. I have to say, the sun and this dry ass ground, the floor is lava. So short contact points, keeping the feet moving. Wish me best of luck. Here will be the 50, 75, and then some reps at 100. Woo. The field is a lot shorter than even I thought. I'm like 10 bounds, 15 bounds away from being there. So it's gonna have to be like really explosive, like 10-yard sprints, I don't know, 30 yards and then stop before I die in the creek. Maybe I'll have to do shuttles, which are brutal. We'll see. Also have to avoid rocks. Sending it that way, there's like a hill down and rocks and creek, no good. Sending it this way towards you, it's like an uphill, some more grass. So I think I'm just gonna do repeats in one direction. Sprint repeats done. Not a lot of room to really open up, but still good. Probably gonna finish some relays here. I don't know how far this is, it's like maybe 30 yards. So maybe 4 touches total. I don't know what that would get me, but just try to do it fast and explode out of the turn. Nothing will humble you like sprints. I tell you what. Not so much explode out of the turn. Without cleats, it's hard to like stop on a dime. This ground is like basically fucking dust. One of my favorite stops in lacrosse was like a roll dodge hockey stop, but like that 2-legged stop. Just can't do it here. All right, I think I'm gonna see if I can shower and then head to the beach. We have arrived. I need to find some sand and a coconut. You know the rules. Got the Bible. All right, back from the beach. Shorter session because the clouds started to roll in, and I also finished up Luke, so it felt like a good stopping point. Coconut was excellent. I've got one more for post sauna tonight in the crib, but look what we got for dinner. We got a plate of boishimi. Look at the color on that. Just got a couple of tuna steaks at the grocery store. Sliced them up. Gonna enjoy them with some soy sauce, which I know isn't optimal. If I was back in the States, I'd be using coconut aminos, which you can look up if anyone's back in a Western country and has access. Great alternative to soy sauce because you don't want to be consuming soy ideally. But yeah, I gotta tuck into this, and I think I'm gonna wrap the vlog up here. It's been super sporadic, hopefully enjoyable to watch, and I'll be wrapping up 1 month in Lombok here shortly. So this is where this one's gonna end. Tomorrow morning, I'm having Tim Matt's photo on screen, Move Like Human on Instagram, on the podcast. So that's where the next vlog will pick up. I appreciate all of you guys for riding. More to come. I really encourage you to tune into the newsletter. That is where all of the bleeding edge of the content is. And if you're only here on YouTube, you're missing out on Twitter, which is where I do all my writing. And I think that's becoming one of my sharper swords. So I'm enjoying writing. It's also, again, where I'm kind of unfolding the narrative of what I'm building here. And really excited about this week's newsletter as well, which you probably got a sneak peek from this morning when I was showing you guys on the computer. Either way, very grateful for everything, excited to continue to march on, and glad to have you here with me. Still very early days, but the days are waning where we will be a little undiscovered gem. So appreciate you for being early, sending love to wherever you are in the world. Remember, be the Renaissance, and I'll catch you in the next one.